what this is called again. I don't know if I'm using this right.
Mr. Brown. Ah! Sorry about that. What are you doing?
Well, okay, I was starting to look at all this science equipment, and I can't really remember the names of it, and I don't know what we use this for in and out of the classroom. Can you help?
I think I can. Wait right there. Okay, guys, Mr. Brown wants to learn about science equipment, how it's used outside the science room, what the names of the things are, what they measure. I think we need to learn a little bit more about this as well. Are you with me? Okay, let's go help Mr. Brown, and we'll learn some stuff along the way too. Okay, ready? All right, Mr. Brown?
Yeah.
I think we have a lot of places here at North Star that we could find science equipment usage in.
Oh, cool.
And how it's used, what the names are, and what they measure.
Oh, that's great.
Would you like to go find it?
Yeah.
Ready?
Let's go.
Say, Mrs. Meyer, are you using a piece of science equipment there?
I am. I'm using a beaker to water my plants.
What does a beaker do?
Kids, they're using beakers back there. A beaker is something you can usually use to measure water and liquids, and it happens to measure it in a unit we call milliliters. Let's go see what they're doing back there with the beaker and the plants and the water and the milliliters. Hey, you two, what's going on?
Mrs. Meyer is using a beaker to water plants.
That is awesome. Mrs. Meyer, you are so exact in your plants. How much water are you using today?
I'm using 300 milliliters.
Oh, she even labeled her units and stuff like that. Yet another example of people here at North Star using science equipment to get through their day. All right, so we've got a beaker and we got milliliters. How about we find some more science equipment at North Star, Mr. Brown? Are you ready?
Sounds great.
Let's go!
Hey, Mrs. Mosler, what are you doing there?
I'm using this graduated cylinder to measure my sports drink after I ran my run this morning.
Oh, I wonder how we use a graduated cylinder.
Whoa, another piece of science equipment used somewhere else here at North Star. We got Mrs. Moser back there, we got Mr. Brown. They're using a graduated cylinder. Let's go see what it's all about, get some more details. Here we go.
Hey, Mr. Kamlick.
Sweet, more science equipment. What's going on here now?
Well, she's using a graduated cylinder to measure her sports drink for after her run.
Oh, nice. So she's finding out how many milliliters of sports drink that she needs to help replenish all of those necessary electrolytes and fluids after she gets done exercising. Mrs. Moser, that's really super cool.
Yeah, isn't it cool?
Science equipment in more classes. Can you believe it, Mr. Brown?
That's really neat.
Woohoo! All right, well, we've got more stuff to do. Are you ready?
Yeah,
Let's go!
Hey, Dave, you using a piece of science equipment there?
I am. This is a flask.
Oh, I wonder what we use a flask for.
Whoa, another example of science equipment here in other parts of the building at North Star. We've got Mr. Brown, we've got Mr. Legess back there. Let's see what they're up to, what they're using, what they measure, and all that good kind of stuff. Hey guys.
Hey, Mr. Kamlick.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, that looks cool. You got a science flask there? What are you doing with it?
We're taking the pH of the pool.
Oh, right.
Hey, what do we measure that in?
Well, you know what? It says right there, milliliters. So he's got a certain amount of milliliters on there, and he's taking the pH of the pool so there's not too much acid, or he might need to add a little bit more chlorine, you know, just to keep the germs out of there, right? So, you guys good with this one?
Yeah.
We are.
All right,
Looks perfect.
I'm glad the pool is safe here at North Star, all because of science and the guys use it. So we've got some more stuff to do. Mr. Brown, you ready?
Yep.
Let's go!
Mrs. Zhang, what are you doing? Is that a piece of science equipment?
Why, yes it is. I have just poured some urine into this test tube so that I can do a urinalysis to see if there's any glucose in this urine.
So that's called a test tube?
Yes, it's a test tube. This is a test tube rack.
Oh, cool. What does it do, or what does it measure?
It really doesn't measure anything. It's more of a container that it will hold something so that you can put a liquid into it.
Okay.
Mrs. Zhang and Mr. Brown, what are you doing?
We're learning about the test tube.
Oh, a test tube right here. Well, kids, a test tube is a little device that you can put sometimes solids and sometimes liquids inside. You know how we usually do things in grams or milliliters? A test tube really doesn't have a unit of measure. As Ms. Zhang shared with us, she's studying some pee in some urine. You'll do that in 7th grade science, most of you next year. And there's really no measurement to that, but it's a really handy tool for analyzing and finding out what's in there. Let's talk to Ms. Zhang a little bit more to find out exactly what she's going for in that test tube with no measurement. What are you trying to find out here, Ms. Zhang?
Well, I want to see if there's any glucose, which is a sugar, in this urine. And I've used this test strip to do that, and then I'm going to match up the color. If there was glucose in this urine, that means that the person has diabetes or could have diabetes.
Wow, so it's almost helping people out with science equipment.
Wow, that's really neat, Mr. Kamlick.
Well, on to the next piece of equipment. Let's go!
Hey, Mr. Adler, what are you doing?
I'm using a timer to time the mile run.
Oh, cool. How do you use a timer? Do you use it to like, measure something?
Well, I'll tell you what, kids. Another example of science equipment being used here at North Star. There's Mr. Brown, there's Mr. Adler. They're back there. They're using a timer. Now, Mr. Adler's looks a little different than ours. Let's go see what they're doing. Hey, guys, what's up?
Hey,
Timing the mile run.
yeah,
All
Mr.
right.
Adler was using a timer. Don't we use a timer in science class?
We use a timer, too. What kind of units? I see you got some numbers on there. What do you...
Yeah, minutes and seconds.
All right. Are they doing all right so far?
Kids are doing a great job, as usual.
Awesome. Another example, kids, of equipment that's used in science also being used in your other classes here at North Star. Well, Mr. Brown, we got some more science equipment to go find here at North Star. You ready?
Yep.
Let's go!
Hey, Mr. Beasy, are you using a piece of science equipment there?
Why, yes, I'm using a ruler.
Wonder what we use a ruler for.
Well, here we go again, kids. More science equipment being used in all your other classes here at North Star. Mr. Beasy and Mr. Brown are back there. Let's see what equipment they have and what they're doing with it and what units they measure in. Hey guys, what's going on over here?
Well, right now I'm using the standard side of the ruler, which measures in inches, to measure this piece of wood right here.
Does it measure in anything else?
Why, yes, it does. It also measures in metric units, which is millimeters and centimeters.
That is
Great.
awesome, just like we use in science, Mr.
Yeah.
Brown. Using Mr. Beasy's class too, that's great.
That is great.
Well, we got a lot of science equipment in all your other classes here at North Star. Got a few more to find. You ready to go find them, Mr. Brown?
Yeah!
Let's go!
You guys have a great day.
Hey, Miss Pep, are you using a piece of science equipment there?
Yep, I'm using the LabQuest temperature probe to make sure my coffee's hot enough.
Measuring the temperature with the temperature probe. What do we use to measure that?
Pep? Brown? What are you two doing?
We're apparently trying to find the temperature of Miss Pep's coffee.
Oh, so they're trying to find the temperature and they're using some science equipment again. Let's talk to Miss Pep to see what she's doing with the LabQuest and the temperature probe on the LabQuest for, of course, her coffee. So Pep, what's going on here?
I'm just using this temperature probe to make sure my coffee's hot enough so it's an optimal temperature for drinking.
Of course, and we want Miss Pep at optimal temperature with her coffee. Everyone, right?
Yep, yes, that's right.
All right, so
What
again-
degree did they measure that in? Or what's the label for this?
Oh, we're going to do that in Celsius usually for science. We in America are more familiar with, of course, the Fahrenheit temperature. So once again, Mr. Brown, Miss Pep, we've got science equipment that's helping people out. Woohoo! You want to find out more? Want to find out more about some science equipment?
Yeah, let's go!
Then let's go!
Hey, excuse me. Are you using a piece of science equipment here?
I am. I'm using a balance scale to weigh out the salads we're making for lunch.
Hey, how do we use a balance scale?
Hey, they're using balance scales back there, right down in the food kitchen area. Isn't that awesome? Wow! Balance scales are used to weigh and measure things. Sometimes you take the weight, sometimes you talk about mass, and we'll discuss the differences between those things. And the main unit we use during science is in grams. Let's go talk to the kitchen staff and Mr. Brown to see how balance scales and grams are used in our day here at North Star. So what's going on back here, you two?
She's using a balance scale to make sure they have the right amount of salad for lunches.
Awesome! So you're weighing that and you're taking it in grams so the kids can have the proper nutrition during their day.
That's right.
That is great. Another example, kids, of science equipment being used to get through your day here at North Star. Well, thanks for using science equipment and using science to get through our day and help us be nutritious. Mr. Brown, I think we got to go find some more science equipment used here at North Star.
I agree.
All right, then let's go! Well, Mr. Brown, that was something. There's a lot of science equipment used here at North Star.
Yeah, it's pretty cool how all those pieces of science equipment can be used in and out of the science classroom.
I agree. That was fun learning about what they are, what they measure, and what they're used for.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, I learned a lot, but oftentimes I need a little refresher. Are you ready?
Yeah,
Let's review!
This is a beaker. It's used to measure and pour liquids and is labeled in milliliters.
This is a graduated cylinder. It measures liquids in milliliters also. It's got a nice little handy pour spout out here as well.
This is a flask. It's often used to stir liquids and even measure how much is in there. And it's measured in milliliters.
Here we have the test tube. The test tube really doesn't have a measurement system in it. It's used to put things in, solids and liquids, and analyze them in certain ways.
This is a timer. It's used to time things in minutes and seconds.
A ruler is a measuring device. We measure things in centimeters, and the English system of inches is used also.
This is a LabQuest unit with a temperature probe. The temperature probe measures the temperature of things in degrees Celsius, the scientific way, and the United States preferred way, degrees Fahrenheit.
Here is the good old balance scale. The balance scale takes the mass or weight of items in grams. We have 3 sliders on the balance scale to help you measure things in grams. Well, that's about all the time we have for you on Know Your Science, Equipment, and Measuring. So, see ya!
Hey Dave, are you using a piece of science equipment there?
I am.
What's it called?
This is a beaker. I mean a test tube. Sorry.